So, big and hairy. It's all written using crutches. So there's no change in the way we're playing. We're still doing Black's wrist curve, except now, every time we see the finger number, we've got this note underneath it, representing this musical sound of what a sound that lasts for one beat or one Black's wrist curve cycle. And it is played exactly like what we did before. But this time we're up to the very high pitch up here with a low pitch, and the whole thing just repeats itself. Which is pretty much what we've been doing before. Except that this is quite a high pitch, out of range for most students. So you'll be singing it much lower down if you can. So if I sing big and hairy up here, I would go big and hairy. I'd be singing it at that pitch. Watching birds and ducks, exactly the same. And big and hairy is the octave, two together. So this is the same tune as we just did. But that's played with two hands at the same time, with coordination there. Okay, I won't go through each one of those. We'll just move on. Okay, at this stage, I usually ask every time I finish a section. I didn't do it with section 1. This is where I ask the class if anybody needs to come up to the piano and go through any of those pieces that we've been doing. And the usual response at this stage is, no, keep going. That was all pretty easy. No, it's too easy. Don't need to play. So, you're welcome to come up and try one of these, but if you've been sort of following the pattern and you've got the general idea, that's pretty straightforward, then, but somebody wants to? There is one. Okay. Right, well, do come up. Right. Look, when you go to play the piano in a W.E.A class, I use you as a guinea pig and I explain various things to the class, right? And everybody sort of starts to learn from whoever's playing up here. So with posture, basically, you're sitting in an upright stance, right? Slightly leaning forward, not necessarily, but usually, right, most pianists will sit back and have a slight. Once you've got the black keys, then you have to find the pitch. So if you're doing big and hairy, very high pitch, very high octave, yep, the pink. So the two fingers are on the two black keys up there. Left hand is on the low, and then the right hand starts this relaxed wrist curve. Oh, now you're doing the octave. Okay, you're going straight into the octave, the two together. Doing the octave, big and hairy. Okay? And the notes just keep changing and changing and changing, and there's no stopping until it gets to the very end. So the right hand goes 2, 2, then it goes to the 3, then it goes back to the 2, and it keeps going. There's no stopping. No stopping at all. Nothing to tell you. They're just continuous, relaxed wrist curve. But when you get to the end of the line, nasty. It repeats. Now the 3, 3, 2, 2 goes the opposite way. That's it. Right. How's that? Well done. And no singing required for that. Right, for some, it's quite daunting to come, and it's quite nerve-shattering for others. You know, it all depends on the individual. Huh? The previous W.E.A group, I think that's broken a record. I think we did 8 solid weeks, and not one student came up to actually play. I kept asking them every lesson, every section, that's quite a few sections, and surprisingly, 5 students are still continuing as individual private students, and a little subgroup, which I explained to you as well. I do continue teaching as private students. Right?
Were you happy with the lady's wrists? You didn't take on notice of that?
This is the first lesson. But this is not a professional musician that have been playing for 20 years that can go like this. No, I'm expecting a little bit of stiffness. But even a child of 8 has got a lot of stiffness too. I have to do a lot of this. I'm like, well, are they holding their hand like this? At least I wasn't getting that. I've got to keep opening them up and going like this. And there's the youngster that's got very supple hands. No, that is going to take you a while before suddenly you can do a nice flowing. That was very good for a first attempt. So, I keep going. Section 3. Rhythm, using crutches, dotted minimum and the crutch at rest, and the beat. This is what we're going to do in this section. The beat is all to do with keeping in time. Music is about time. And we have to keep our music in time. We have to come to an understanding of what it means to keep in time. It's not an easy thing to explain. The beat is going to do it. There are many ways of keeping in time with this beat. One way is to feel a pulse sensation in your feet. You can hear a tapping sound. You can nod with it, feel it in your head. And the whole body feels it. In fact, if you're a teenager, you'll probably get up and start dancing when you feel the beat. They do all sorts of things. That is the beat that they're feeling in the music. There is this pulse that goes in it. In fact, a lot of dance music will have a drummer because the drummer keeps the beat and keeps the music all in time. In fact, keeps the musicians all in time. As you get one of these metronomes that clip the beat, you can hear it and then you synchronise and you feel it. You can count the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, use numbers. I call this the external beat. This is the beat that comes outside the music. When you have a beat, you don't need to play music, you just start off with this clicking, tapping, feeling those. An internal beat is where the hand moves as you play. I call it the internal beat. Relaxed wrist curve is a continuous moving, pulsating wrist movement. I call that the beat. But when you play and you constantly keep doing this, you are actually making a beat movement. And I associate that with a beat. Why? Because some students just don't like tapping their foot. An inconvenience. Can't nod, I've got a sore neck. Can't move, so only got their hands to keep themselves in time too. I hate counting, they won't count. Too much going on, can't sing and count at the same time. So there are problems associated with keeping in time. So I've devised a beat that can be felt by playing. If you move the body to that beat, then you're getting an extra added feeling of the beat, which is worth doing. Okay, so music goes in time to this beat, which you can feel, tapping, nodding, you can count it. And you can feel it by the movement of the wrist. The note that goes for wristbands is a tricky note because we get to learn. It's a minim and it's got a dot after it. Again, it's not necessary to know what the dot's doing, but to understand that this is the note that we will give 4 wristbands with the crutch at rest at the end of it, this ring action rest. It'll look like that. A white note, there's a dot after it, called the dotted minim, the minim being the white note, and the dot. We'll divide this up into 3 beats. But we'll start understanding the dotted minim as the 4 wristband note, because you'll do a 4 wristband, and the 4th wristband will have a crutch at rest to detach, and you'll be always detaching in these songs on the 4th beat. When you have combinations of these 1 beat crutchet notes with this 3 beat dotted minim with a crutch at rest at the end, this combination, we refer to this as rhythm. Rhythm is the mixing up of short sounds and long sounds. As simple as that. So the songs that we've been doing right from the beginning have been the same rhythm, 4 crutchets and a dotted minim with a crutch at rest. So Jump Into the Pool will sound virtually the same as the earlier songs. Jump into the pool, there's the beat feeling, it will keep you. You can see this wrist bending is making that last note in time with the beat, without you having to actually tap it out. Bob the Frog does the same. So watch Bob the Frog. It's the first song that both hands are in the bass. The right hand's in the low octave, the left hand is in the very low octave. Blue. So you slightly to the left. This is Bob the Frog. Giving a very low pitch on that. Fat Cat does the same, but this is mostly for my very young students that like to explore the lowest pitch on the piano. This is my black cat. Of course, I can't sing that low, I'm just pretending to sing that low. No, if you can sing that low, it's remarkable. Right. That's about the only song that you'll get in that octave. And Bob the Frog is the octaves again, and crutches and dotted minims. And that's section 3.